Nice to
Yeah.
meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. We were having some storms here in Nashville, so hopefully it won't like have any, connectivity issues, but so far it seems okay. So where are you located at?
I'm located down in San Diego, California. How about
Okay.
yourself?
Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, great.
Yes.
I've heard so many great things about Nashville. Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's okay. Me and my wife were actually planning, hopefully in the next few years, move to Florida. So
Um,
yeah, so it'll
what
be
part of Florida?
um we're not sure yet, but we're thinking like around the Tampa area. So she's from there originally, so you know, decided to
Oh,
make
great.
the
I've heard
move.
so many great things about Tampa.
Yeah, yeah. Have you always been in California?
I've kind of grown up here and there, kind of all up and down California,
Hmm.
touched down in Arizona a little bit, but I actually lived in Florida for some time when I was younger in Fort Myers.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
I love Florida, but also, I was pretty young. So
Yeah.
um, my partner and I, we've talked about it too, about possibly relocating out of California here and there. And
Yeah.
Tampa has such a great fitness environment and network of people and everything. So
Hmm.
it makes a lot of sense if that's kind of your area
Yeah.
that you would be drawn there. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. It seems like wherever there's like the weather is conducive to like working out and just, like that kind of stuff. It's like
Showing
Florida,
off what you're
California.
working
Yeah,
on.
yeah. It's like in Tennessee, I mean, we have our hot like times, of course, during the summer. It'll get up to like hundreds and stuff like that. But we're landlocked, so there's no like ocean or water or anything like that. So, it's
Yeah,
it's a little different. So,
totally
but
understand.
how did how did you get into fitness and training and all that?
Yeah. So I've always been an athlete like my whole life. I've played soccer, swimming, tennis. I played soccer up into college. I was on their, not the collegiate team, but I played
Mhm.
within their club sport. Um, and so I've always had like that competitive piece to me and everything. But I never worked out in the gym. And I had a roommate at the time. This was like probably my sophomore year of college. And um, back then it was like really common. Okay, I guess I'm aging myself. This is like 10 years ago. Um, my back then, I think there was a lot of like more gym intimidation for women.
Mhm.
You're kind of expected to be more of that like slender cardio bunny type girl.
Mhm.
And so that's kind of what I did. I was like, I always did cardio and abs. And I didn't know anything about weight training. And I remember my college roommate, her boyfriend actually taught her some basic movement in the gym. And during one summer, she took me to the gym and kind of showed me what her boyfriend had taught her.
Mhm.
And I kind of got hooked, and I some started seeing some results of what I truly was always trying to achieve with my physique. And then at the same time, like Instagram was starting to be really prevalent, and bikini was a new category that was coming about. And so that was starting to be posted online. So that kind of all happened around the same time and kind of got me moving towards the fitness industry.
Mm. What kind of things did your friend show you that her boyfriend showed her? Was it just like some basic movements, or like was it
Very basic. Yeah.
okay?
Like, think like this is how you do a dumbbell curl. This is how you do like a shoulder raise. And like it was kind of like when you come into the gym, this is what you should do. And it like very basic, like 3 sets of 15. And not being scared to walk over to the dumbbell rack or wait for a machine and ask somebody how many more sets they have. Like it
Yeah.
was it was a good introductory to um kind of having a little bit more confidence in the weight room side and not just going up to the cardio machines.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fun. It's funny
it's funny
because
because
um I always think these things are so simple, you know, but I forget that I've been doing them for so long. And like when people ask me, well, how do you do a curl? I'm like, I don't understand.
It's
You just pick
just
it up
really,
and you curl it. Like, I don't get it. But it's like, but for a lot of people that are new, they like, you know, they don't know. They're a lot of times they're just not confident that they're doing it right. It seems like it's right, but maybe it's not. And so they're asking you to like kind of almost like give them that boost of confidence that like, yeah, you're doing it right or whatever, you know. So yeah, you just kind of forget about that once you've been in it for so long, you know. But it's good to take like a step back, you know. So for sure.
yeah, no, I think too, like a lot of times you don't, if you've never lifted either, like you maybe don't know what that mind muscle connection feels like. And
Hmm.
so that was big, and that's something like I'm constantly learning to like as I progress further in the sport is like what does true failure actually feel like. So you know
Hmm.
you start pushing yourself and you level up in these different ways, and you just it's always learning. But yeah,
Yeah.
everyone starts somewhere.
That's a good point about the true failure thing because it's like a lot of people will say they go to failure, but do they? You know, it's like, are
Mental
you?
versus physical failure, correct? Yes.
Right. So it's like sometimes it does appear that like maybe people need to kind of understand like what failure is for them. And then also like failure can progress, right? Like failure at one point, you know, as you keep training and getting better and stronger and you understand that muscle mind connection, your failure might be at a different level, you know. So,
Yeah, and the confidence in
mhm.
yourself that it's okay. So like for me, I know I have a confidence issue with like I'm always worried I'm gonna hurt myself in some respect. So having somebody there to like spot you, even
Mhm.
if they're not really doing anything, that always helps me in terms of just like knowing how I can push past what I think my actual failure is to what my true like physical failure is. So that's
Mm.
something like that's like a big thing for me right now is trying
Yeah,
to
yeah.
break into that. Yeah.
Going past that like mental block or like mental wall. Yeah, no, I get
Mhm.
that. I think everybody has that. You know, again, it's like some people are just like used to breaking through them, and so they don't really like think much about it. But then others who are still going through that process, it's like it's much more daunting, you know, for you know, but it's a progression, you know, it's just like everything. So
Agreed.
yeah, yeah, it's so do you train like since you need spotters and stuff, do you train heavy?
So because I'm so deep in my prep right now, I'm kind of like just maintaining my
Hmm.
strength. Um, so yeah, because I'm about 9 days out from my next show. So I'm
Nine
not really
days. Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm doing another show here in San Diego, not
Hmm.
this weekend, but next weekend.
Hmm.
So right now I'm really just focused on intensity and tension in general in each workout, um, and being very purposeful as opposed to failure right now. Um,
Hmm.
I've been in a depletion phase for a while. You know, I did a show about a month ago in July, and now I'm going to be going into this one. So that's kind of where my focus is now. But up until like when I was about 6 weeks out, I was still even. I don't know. I was still pushing to failure. It's been
Hmm.
more recent in my last couple, like closer depletion weeks to show that I've really stopped pushing, like progressing up in my weights.
Right, right.
Um, so I'll either my boyfriend who will work out, I'll have him help spot me and push me, or I'm starting to develop a pretty good relationship with people at my gym who can help push me too.
You
So,
just ask people for spots. You're like, hey, give me a spot.
hey, yeah, I need lift off help.
Yeah, no, I mean that totally makes sense. Yeah, once you get like so deep in your prep, I mean 9 days out, you're basically there. There's not much to do
Yeah,
outside of just keep, you know, keep the blood in the muscle and you know, you're not going to be growing or you know, changing too much 9 days out. So it's just
yeah. Just
keeping
don't
your
want to
focus.
injure myself is my focus.
Yeah, yeah.
But there's still like I still need to be pushing. Like there's no letting off the gas at this point. It's just it's again, like just being intentional. I'm being very purposeful in my workouts. The intensity is still high. Whether that's time under tension and or whatever that may be in terms of how I make sure I'm still feeling like that, like the blood flow, feeling the burn and like pushing myself hard. That is all still there 100%.
What show are you doing?
I'm doing it's NPC Pacific USA.
Mm.
It's put
How
on by Muscle Contest.
how far is that from you?
It's only like 10 minutes.
Oh,
So
you just walk. You can walk there. That'd be.
yeah, oh my gosh, so nice because the last show that I did with Summer Shredding, so it's not an NPC show, that was in Texas. So a lot of travel and coordinating and Ubers and Airbnbs and all of that just to get groceries or do anything. So now to be in my home city, it's down the street. I just get to kind of wake up and go. I'm definitely feeling grateful for how much smoother this one will be.
Yeah, it's funny. Like people don't understand how expensive bodybuilding, can get, with everything like that it takes, and especially for women, because I was talking to a figure girl a while back at my gym, and she went down the list, and even I, being kind of in the industry, I didn't even like really comprehend. So she like went down the list of everything that she needed to do to get ready for the show. And I was like,
Yeah,
this is too much. I was like,
it's
I
a lot.
gotta.
It's a lot. Bodybuilding is it's an expensive sport, and so to be able to do what we do, even though times during prep can be really hard, like at the end of the day, you have to know that it's a privilege that you're even in a position, one, that your body can push you, but two, that you're even able to compete, because it is expensive. And you're 100% on the mark for women. There's a lot that we have to mark off. And being in bikini, it's a fitness model contest. So a part of it is your beauty flow, and your presence when you bring to stage. And so all of that ties together. So it can be pricey. There's ways to make it affordable if you're handy dandy. But
Yeah.
the price can get up there.
Yeah, well, it kind of just points to the fact that people are, in bodybuilding, there's definitely no doubt that people are doing it because they love it, because it's like most, it's one of those things, because it's so expensive and because the payoff, is so small, like as far as like, the people
Yeah.
that are making like all the money, there's usually at the very, very top of the professionals, right? So it's like you got to love it to do it, you got to enjoy it, and that's how it is. Yeah.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah. You said you were what was the show that you did before, the summer shred, is that what it is?
Summer shredding. So, are you familiar with the owner of Alpha Elite and Alpha Land, Christian
Yes.
Good?
Yeah, and so the reason I mentioned is because I just had on the pot. It's actually dropping today at 2 p.m. Central. But I had Jackie Jim on. Do you know him?
Yeah, I believe he's Team Reform.
Yeah.
He's on
Okay.
my bodybuilding team.
That's what I thought. And are you familiar with Aaron too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's my posing coach.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So
We're
because
just going after all of Team Reform.
yeah, it's well, I've been following Aaron for years, and then I just had Jackie on, and we had like almost a similar interaction. I was like, "Do you know something? Do you know?" I was like, "Yeah, that's." So
I
yeah.
love Erin. She is seriously one of the best people that I've met in a really long time. Just she cares so much about the people that she works with. She has such a passion for what she's doing in the sport. Oh, I just got a little goosebumps. She is amazing. I'm so excited for her. She's about to step on stage here soon, and
I saw that.
you
Yeah.
couldn't meet somebody with a more pure heart. So I can't wait to watch
Is she
the podcast you did
oh,
with her.
is she doing like a show around you, or like is it a different time period? I think
I
she's
believe.
close, right?
Yeah, she is close. At the pro level, a lot of times, how you hear like they are kind of waiting to kind of throw their contract in to make sure they're stage ready and all that. So
Mm-hmm.
I think she had a couple shows that she was planning on and waiting to pull the trigger, like, once she got the go ahead with her coach and everything.
Sure.
Um, but it is around the same time frame, so it should be coming up soon,
Yeah,
I think.
that's exciting. So with you being in bikini and, just talking about like the NPCs, and now we're talking about the pros a little bit. What do you think about bikini? Do you think the division itself and the kind of where it's going and where it's been, do you agree with like the placings they've been, putting people in the Olympias, like the top 5 and so forth, or you feel like they should be rewarding something, different? Can you talk about
I,
that?
you know, being that I'm pretty like new in the sport, and I'm so amateur. I don't think my opinion should carry too much weight, but just from what I've watched in people's opinions and kind of just getting as educated as I can, they like USA's just passed, and it looks like they've kind of are doing like they like reset a little bit in terms of like the physiques they're rewarding. So
Mhm.
like the Miss USA who won the overall, she has a much more attainable body
Mhm.
type. And with Maureen, Miss Olympia, Miss Bikini Olympia, she looks, this beautiful, round, bubbly muscle that doesn't look as hard, but you could tell there's density, and
Right.
it's like this beautiful hourglass figure. And I like that. I like that kind of look, but I do think that the beautiful thing about bikini is when you are looking at all those top pros on that stage, whether it was like Olympia or the Arnold, every single woman up there has such a unique body type and just unique structures, a different look. Everybody is 100% themselves. And I think this was the first year for me that within bikini that it truly clicked for me that even though it's so subjective and you could look at it from a negative perspective, on the positive side of it is that it is kind of an equalizer in the fact that you can show up 100% yourself and just bring your absolute best,
Mhm.
and you're going to be judged within you, like you as an individual and what you bring to the table, and how it compares to the category. But in my brain, it kind of helps me, it kind of even the playing field, because
Sure.
everybody has something so unique that they're bringing to the table, even though we're working towards the division category, the division standards of what you should bring as a bikini athlete.
Yeah.
We truly are still in our own unique structure and our own unique look. And that for me kind of has taken the pressure off of I should look a certain way or I should be a certain way, or I just get to show up as 100% my best and who I am and showcase my best physique. And, if that is the winner of the day, then that is so exciting. If not, what's the feedback and how can I keep bringing my best package? So I think it's for me taken a lot of that pressure off, and I've found a new love and appreciation for the bikini category as a whole.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I don't think I've ever heard anybody describe it that way. That it's like equalizes in its own way. Like, so it's interesting. Yeah, there's no other division that really shows that like bikini, right? Because you guys don't really have an Olympia that stays in there for like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years in a row. Like, it doesn't
No,
happen.
I think
Yes.
Ashley's the most winning.
3, I think, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
And
So
yeah.
yeah, I know you're correct. Yeah,
Yeah, so she won 3, and that's the most. And it's like 3 compared to other divisions is like nothing. Most Olympias stay in there for quite a while. It's like until they, just either age
yeah,
out or, they get injured or something like that. So it,
yeah.
it definitely shows like your point where it's like you're kind of everybody's kind of equalized by their own like pros and cons, and so like
He's on stage.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I mean, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens this year with bikini too, because like Maureen, clearly they're trying to set the standard and pull away from, and you hear a lot about too many competitors were being rewarded for such hard physiques. So it almost felt like you hear all the grumbling, not to take anything away from Maureen or anything like that, but they've talked about this being like a reset and how they're trying to set the standard within the bikini category. And you're seeing that again with a structure with Miss USA, with the overall winner there. So it'll be interesting to see how that continues to get rewarded. To, if they reward a physique like Maureen again at Olympia, does that, that might continue to set the tone and trickle down through bikini, or we might have a huge disparity from somebody who just turned pro, who's trying to get into the pro league, who needs to put on like so much more size now because they were rewarded at a smaller structure. So it'll be really interesting kind of how it all plays.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I mean, I thought Maureen was really Olympia champion quality like a few years ago. It just took him a couple of years to get her rewarded for it. But yeah, but it was interesting. I don't know if you were there at the Arnold this last March, but I was there and I was watching the show, and she didn't win the Arnold. With I forgot the name of the girl. She's in my mind, but yeah, Laura Lee won. And so that's going to be interesting going into Olympia, because I know Laura Lee was upset in the Olympia about her placing, which I mean, I would have given her a higher placing, but yeah, but it's interesting how things are developing. So she kind of got her back at the Arnold, and now it's like and then they're going into the Olympia with now both kind of like have that hype. One is the Olympia champ, one is the Arnold champ, and now who knows.
Yeah, there's a lot of hype around this year, which is it's actually really cool because you have also Amy Delgado, who went on that hot streak at the beginning of the year, just like a shot out of a cannon, like just winning. I think it was Clash, and then it was Wasatch, and then Pittsburgh, and then New York Pro, and then she's coming back again in the fall, and then there's you have to win to get in this year. And then you have Ashley Kay. This is her 10-year anniversary. If she just came off of a bunch of wins. She won Nevada. She won Nevada. She went to Toronto. There was another one.
I mean, she's won so many, I can't even remember. She's like constantly, which is amazing to me, because she left and came back, and she's still placing, excuse me, very high. So
she's won the last like 3 or something like that. And so if she wins this year, this would be the 10-year anniversary of her winning the Olympia.
Yeah,
and how cool would that be?
And be her fourth one, which is and sets another level, to surpass. So yeah, it's exciting. This Olympia is exciting, like across all divisions. What do you think about the fact that, like, they added wellness? Are you in the camp of like more divisions the better? Are you in the camp of like the more divisions you add, the more diluted the divisions get? Like there's almost like two polar camps on that,
Yeah. I mean, I could see that. I tend to be more of a glass half full type of person. And so, I mean, if there's more opportunity for people to join the sport and feel like they belong somewhere and be able to showcase themselves as their best, I mean, I'm all for it. I think that is something like bodybuilding has truly it's healed me in a lot of ways. It's helped my mental space in so many ways. And so, to look at it from a gatekeeping perspective, it's not a place where I would align with. So, if there's more categories that allow individuals to find their niche and feel like they belong somewhere, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Get those tie-ins, girl. Get those etched tie-ins.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a big fan of more divisions. I think it's good for, everybody's got different genetics, and so like there's so many like talking about wellness, there's so many people that have had to like not train their legs or not not do whatever just to fit a division, which they really technically don't fit, but they tried to force themselves to fit it. And you can see like now they're blooming in like their division that really is for them. So yeah, I completely agree. And I don't like that idea that it's like it's ours, like nobody else gets it, because it just seems like, I don't know, just kind of counter to what like the whole thing is, so
Yeah, and I mean the fitness industry, like the community of people, they are some of the best people I've ever met. I think
Mhm.
there's you find a lot of commonality with individuals in the fitness industry because they can truly empathize like with you. They know how hard you're working. They know how you're balancing everything because they do it too. And so I think that they're like the ultimate empathizers and then in turn encourage you so much. So to here and there, and I feel like there's like naysayers to allow people into the industry. I think those are the outliers because my experience across the board working with anybody in this community has been nothing but welcoming and encouraging. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I would have to agree. That's 99.9% of the people for sure. I heard
Yeah.
this podcast recently, and they were particularly talking about men's
Mhm.
bodybuilding, but they were just saying that, like, well, men's physique kind of took away some of the guys that would have been in men's bodybuilding with like good genetics and things. But my thought on that is, well, if those guys wanted to do men's bodybuilding, they would be there, like, but they switched over because that's what they wanted to do. So you can't really blame somebody or like pigeonhole them into a division if they don't want to be there. It's kind of like they have to choose what they want to do. Like, you chose to do bikini for a variety of reasons. You could have chosen other things, but
Yeah.
that was for you. So
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that let's put the ownership back into the athlete's hands and allow them to showcase, you know,
mhm.
their strengths and not take that ownership out of them that like now they can't go into these other divisions. Like, okay, well now they have the opportunity to pick the division that fits their body type. And I
Right.
think that kind of ties back to what I was saying about like the ultimate equalizer. Like I feel like I have the structure that fits bikini, but if I didn't and I had something that fit more towards wellness, then yeah, it would be extremely difficult for me to constantly be trying to fit into a category where my legs just will not ever
Mhm.
fit. And so I definitely I'm for
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
categories for.
Have you ever, speaking of which, have you ever thought about like another division, or you were just pretty much, you were like, hey, the bikini is it. There's at no point in my life am I ever gonna go anywhere else.
I think I'm a bikini girl through and through.
Yeah.
Hats off to every other division because every other division, obviously we have to be stage lean and stage conditioned, and getting to that point is difficult no matter what category you're in. But it only levels up as you go up in each
Mhm.
category in terms of that level of conditioning. And I do think that for myself, I do enjoy the level that I'm at within the bikini category and would love to take that as far as I can for sure. But I don't think I'll dabble into other categories.
Yeah. No, makes sense. So you're 9 days out, like, what does your diet look like now at this point?
Um, excuse me.
Sorry.
I'm currently in a depletion right now. Um, we're kind of doing like a mock peak, and then so my luckily like my cardio stayed pretty moderate for months. It's been like pretty much the same, so I haven't had to do anything too drastic. But as of right now, yeah, I'm on my lower carb days, and then we'll probably start the fill up. Mm, I'll know on Saturday when we start the fill up. It might be Saturday or a few days in, but that way we can kind of start walking up my carbs and filling me out and kind of
Are you
let peak week do magic.
are you carb sensitive? Are you one of those people that gain weight quickly, or are you stay lean pretty much all year round?
You know, in the past, I would identify myself as a carb sensitive individual, but because since working with my coach, we took a long time working together before doing any kind of cut or prep, where we really got my metabolism in a really healthy place. And we did like a maintenance kind of main gaining phase where I got to do a body recomp over time,
Mhm.
and then it was from there, we did a very, very slow tapered process. So we've really protected my metabolism through this whole process and allowed my body to be very predictable when we change just a few different things. So when we do reintroduce more carbs, my body is firing and responding to it and not stagnant. I haven't had these like plateaus or issues, and I attribute it to just having a long time prior to doing any kind of large deficits, and it being a tapered deficit, and having time with my coach for us to truly learn what's effective for me.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's so tough, right? Like as a coach, like whenever I help people, it's like you really need to know like the person. Everybody's so different, and you can't. That's why like you have to really be careful with coaches. And it's good, you have obviously have a good one, but there's a lot of times where people will just give you like cookie cutter type of like diets, and it's like that's it's a lot of times that's just a waste of money, because that's not necessarily going to work for you. And so it's you just have to like be cautious, and also like especially being a woman, it's like there's all kinds of things that are involved, supplements and stuff in the sport that you might want to be careful of, let me put it.
Yeah, you have to definitely be careful as a woman because you can push your body pretty far. Obviously men have to be careful with their hormones as well, but it's a little bit more with women, I think. And
Sure.
I think I honestly felt throughout this whole prep process like I didn't even really feel like I was truly in prep, because we did such a consistent and slow tapering down of things that it really started the push once we were under the 8-week mark. And we've kept such a strong variety of foods. Like my gut health has stayed really strong. I had various sources of proteins, various sources of carbs. I had refeeds throughout my whole entire cut up until my first show, like every 7 to 10 days. And so we definitely kept my body in a really great place, my gut in a great place, and it allowed for us to be really in sync with like when things are about to fall off and when I can expect changes, because we've been on the same page. So I think just having the opportunity to take time to learn what works for me and doesn't with my coach before going into all of the cuts of everything really set us up for a lot of success.
That's beautiful. Yeah, that's great. What kind of feedback have you been getting? I know you did a show not that long ago, and now you're doing another one. I don't know if you're well, we can talk about it after this, but like, what do you talk to judges? Do you get feedback? What have you been getting?
So the summer shredding show, because it's not NPC, it's kind of viewed a little bit more for like a lot of more entry competitors. I know for sure conditioning is going to be necessary going into my NPC show, because the NPC circuit is just known for being obviously harder in their conditioning levels. So that's been a big focus for me, keeping as much fullness as I can in my upper body, my shoulders, and then trying to pull out my tie-ins. That's been the focus over the last month going into this show. I'm really excited about the NPC show because Sandy Williams is the head judge of the show. And I'm sure like you're aware that she's just notorious for staying after and giving you feedback and giving it to you in person. And, I'm just really excited to finally meet her and be able to present what I have as a physique so far, just getting started, and hear what her feedback is, and so that I can take that and run with it. So that's kind of been the strategy as of right now going into this show.
Yeah, that's gonna be good for you when you go in the off season too. You have like that whole time to prepare for it,
So
or
excited.
work on that. Yeah.
So excited for off season for that reason.
So you have this show in 9 days. Are you planning to do another one? I don't even know if there are other ones, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So the show I did that was in July, Summer Shredding. That show, they're kind of trying to build their own league essentially. So they've structured it where they have multiple shows throughout the year that are qualifying shows, and then they have a championship show in October. So I won overall in July. And so I qualified to go to the championships in October. So I will do this NPC show in August, and then I'll return back to Texas to do the championship show with the Summer Shredding League to compete at that championship show and be the ultimate overall winner. And then after that, I'll most likely go into an improvement season.
Nice. Okay. So you've got everything planned out. You know exactly what you're doing, organized.
We got a plan. We got a strategy. We'll have more of a strategy after we talk to Sandy. But yeah, I'm just very excited. I just feel like I've really found like kind of where I belong. And I'm just really excited to just take it as far as I can.
So what would be your like, I don't say long term, because long term makes it sound like 5-6 years down the road. Whenever somebody asks you long term, like at a job interview, they're always like 5 to 10 years. How, 5 to 10 years? I don't even know what's happening tomorrow, But like let's say next year or whatever, like what's your goal? I mean, obviously getting a pro card is the goal. Are you hoping that you'll get to a point by next year to get it? Are you trying to get it within a certain time frame?
Oh, I think right now I feel like I'm hanging my hat on like building that timeline out for myself more once I've talked to Sandy. Honestly, like I feel like her word is like oak. So I really want to kind of hear from her a bit of like where she sees improvements need to be made in my physique to take it further and get to the national level and be competitive at the national level. I think for me, I don't want to just go to the national level just to go. It's extremely expensive on top of everything.
Yeah.
So if I can, I would love to get that feedback from her, make improvements necessary, and get more stage time wherever I can, and just enjoy kind of going through the NPC circuit and kind of beefing up my stage IQ and everything, and then get to a point where I can compete for that pro card. I think the timeline will really depend on that feedback that starts with Sandy, and I would like to do it in the next 2 years or something, but I want to have time to. I know I need to fill out my structure more and things like that, and so that takes time, especially as a woman and as a natural athlete and things like that. So definitely want to go about it in a smart way.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I know you just mentioned that, being a natural, like that's definitely, gonna take a little bit. I mean, you are in a division where that is like very achievable. So that's good. It's like, but yeah, you're right. It is gonna take a little bit of time. And yeah, I always say when people talk to me, I always say you want to kind of hit the ground running at whatever your next level is. So if you're going to go to nationals, you want to be competitive. You don't want to just show up. If you're going to turn pro, you want to be able to turn pro at a level where you can just go right into a pro show and compete, and so sometimes you'll have people turn pro and then they'll sit out for like years, because they're still trying to develop their physique. And I feel like that's kind of a waste.
I could 100% agree. And because I feel like if you're already, okay, you just won your pro card, that means you're being rewarded for a physique that they believe is pro level. And at that point, there's no better time for you than to step on stage right away and get compared against the best of the best in your pro league and see where you stack up, and then go. Like if you have to go to improvement season, then do it. But like, why if you're already at a pro physique level, you've just been rewarded for that, why would you go straight into an off season and take a shot at the dark? Like go and actually collect your data, get on stage with your pros, find out where you stack up, and then go make your improvements. But that's
Smart.
just that's what I would do.
That's smart. That's smart. Again, like you said, it's a shot in the dark when when you wait for so long. And you're going to end up in the same position because you're still going to need, to kind of assess yourself with everyone else, on stage. So yeah, 100%. 100%. So, excuse me, I'm like, I don't know, something's in my throat. But, well, thank you, Emily, for coming on the show. I greatly appreciate it. I know you're very busy and you're, depleted. So that's even more difficult.
I know. I appreciate you having me on. I think this is great. I can't wait to watch Aaron and Jackie's episodes.
Sure.
Love Team Reform. So yeah, no, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah. Just to clarify, I did have an episode with Jackie. Aaron, we're still working on getting
Oh,
a time together. But
okay.
yeah, that'll be exciting. And I wish you the best in your show. So, if somebody wanted to reach out to you for more podcasts or anything else, what would be the best way for them to do that?
Probably just through my Instagram. So my Instagram is nelson.emily with two Y's. So that would probably be the easiest way to get in touch with me and um, to connect.
Yeah, awesome. And guys, I'm going to link everything at the bottom just to make it easier for you to get in contact with Emily if you feel the need to. And again, really appreciate it. And thank you. Have a great rest of the day.
Thanks. You as well. Have a good one.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.